Hi everyone, so welcome if you're new. If you're returning, welcome back. If you were interested in January classes for the core principles of manifestation or the energy experience basics, those are relisted at the Buy Me a Coffee link down in the description box for February. We're on the second round of classes for February, so they're filling up. So if you wanted to get involved in those classes, definitely keep your eye on that link. Okay, we're just going to get right into this. I'm going to take a step aside and allowing Spirit to pass through me. Opening up to receive information. Okay. Okay, so I'm seeing an egg. I'm seeing a gunmetal color on this egg, and I'm seeing like a reflection of stars. Eggs carry in them the potential, and the potential also carries a particular program. So this is telling me that it's a program within someone's soul, and because of the presence of the soul stars, it feels like a cosmic soul, like a very galactic theme is going to be in this reading. I'm also seeing clouds. I'm seeing fiery. And then some are watery and airy, and they're rolling away. And as they're rolling away, I'm seeing the earth. Okay, so this message is for someone who knows that they're a cosmic soul dreaming their time on earth. Clouds for me are a symbol for dreams when the messages come through, and I'm supposed to give some signs now. So I'm going to give the signs, the symbols. If these symbols don't resonate for you, it doesn't mean that it's not your message. It just means that the people who this resonates for should pay extra attention. Okay, so there is a heavy masculine energy coming in with these symbols. It doesn't mean that this reading is only for men, but it will definitely resonate for you if you, for example, identify as a female, but you have heavy masculine energy. So, or you know that you operate from your masculine a lot, but this is very heavy on the masculine energy. So 3 leaves that are black. There's a griffin tattoo on a bicep. I don't know which one. Square silver turquoise ring. There's a thick gold chain, and I'm seeing links that are they're like flattened, so that's like the design. They're links, but the roundedness of the links has been flattened. I don't know what that's called. And then there's one stretched, so hear me out. There's one stretched ear, one earring, but that earring has recently been stretched also. I don't ask questions. That's just what's coming through. And then the flower foxglove is important, and so is Datura. There's a picture of a nebula or a galaxy hanging up for somebody, and then also the Olympic seals. I don't mean like Olympics, like gymnastics Olympics. I mean like spirits, the Olympic spirits and their seals. Okay, that's it. Okay, so the energy that I'm getting from this is the person who this is meant for has a conflict with the idea of choosing to be here. Okay. And some may have tried to explore this idea, but it never seems to resonate, or it doesn't sit well. And this is because you didn't choose to be here. Oh, I'm getting like all sorts of uncomfortable in my sacral chakra as I'm doing this. Yeah. And this is really what this is saying, right? When we see the sun, this is the birth of the soul. This is the child, right? The new beginning. But this is a situation in which we're trapped in. This dream, these incarnations for you are an elaborate trap. Ooh, I'm getting all sorts of chills. A prison meant to hold a god or a goddess. This is why you're so creative. And for some, you feel very, very drawn towards magic and ancient things. Okay. Ooh, okay. And I just saw an infinity symbol. You've been here since the beginning of the world, or the beginning of time. And this is giving me a certain song lyric from, okay, and it's, so your soul's always felt restless, like a stranger in a strange land, and always looking for something, some piece of knowledge that will, and then it's like a question mark, what? And if you dig into that feeling, it's that you're trying to find the power to wake up, to break free from the shackles of this illusion or of this dream, okay? What, and I'm getting very heavily that this reading is going to be, I'm getting like so many chills here as I'm doing this. What some of you may not know is that is the reason why you're here. It's to learn to be free. This is like a test of godhood. That's the energy that I'm getting here. It's a test of godhood. Okay. 3 cards. 2. 3. Okay, so when we have these two cards together, we have the Six of Swords, and then it moves to this Page of Swords. So this is where we are traveling. Our soul is like a traveler, and it's moving away from something towards something that allows it to learn. Again, there's this emphasis on knowledge. I don't necessarily feel that this is knowledge about something outside of us, though that seems to be the drive, because remember, that's one of the illusions of being on Earth, is that everything is external to you. It's where we drop into that dualistic space. And the message that's coming forward is that it's really this, right? It's that there's something inside of you that you have to learn. Again, this feels very much like being incarnated time and time and time again until you understand your own godhood. And here what we have is, we have this, right? When we have the Four of Wands, a lot of people will read this as the Twin Flame card. I'm going to tell you about the story of the Wands. The story of the Wands is the explorer who's leaving for his next conquest. And in the Two of Wands, he's looking out over the battlements. He has a globe. He's trying to analyze where he's supposed to go. We don't necessarily have that in our story, right? It's this energy of we didn't necessarily choose our incarnations. We didn't necessarily choose to be here. In fact, I'm getting this energy that every time we're supposed to be reinserted in this world, there's this feeling of longing, like I just want to go home. And so this may be a feeling that somebody carries with them all the time that they can't explain. Is it, I just want to go home, but where is that, right? There's a lot of question marks that pop up here in someone's feeling space. For example, what I said earlier was the understanding that there's some bit of knowledge that we have to ascertain, or that we have to develop for ourselves even, and we don't even know why. We don't know what it's leading to. Knowledge for what, right? And that's because we don't necessarily know. We don't necessarily know where or what, even how. When we get into the Three of Wands, that's where the explorer then leaves, and he goes off across the sea. And when he has the Four of Wands, he has made his claim. He's staked his claim. This is about learning how to stake your claim, learning how to have that foot down, to be able to be that creative force, and to understand that no, this is the illusion, and what's true is here. It's inside, and through the inside, not the identity, right? That's very different. The identity feels very much in tune with this sort of dream. It's something deeper. It's something deeper that I think that whoever it is in this collective, for this message to come out, you've either just touched what that something deeper is, or you've already been working with it. So this is somebody's confirmation. It's just that the energy that's coming through is that there may be some people who aren't necessarily sure yet, or are wondering, and the confirmation is that yes, this is why you are here, is because you are meant to break free and wake up from this dream. Okay. There has been help along the way. I'm reading from the bottom now. There has been help along the way, and this may come in terms of, I almost feel like cosmic entities, right? Like galactic entities, or even for some of you, they may even manifest in a way that some people would term as like lower vibrational entities. There's been help along the way in figuring some of these things out. One of the steps that has been taken in this process is really learning how to pull your energy back to yourself, have better boundaries, and create a life of your own. So learning how to stand on your 2 feet may have been very difficult for whoever this message is for, but it's part of the process that I do feel that most of you are here right now in this process. The next step of this process is this. It's the Emperor. It goes beyond being in charge and being in control, and learning how to establish maybe even a measure of abundance or wealth or fame for yourself. I do feel that because some people are extremely creative, they are in the limelight here, but it goes beyond that, and it goes into this energy, the Emperor. Again, remember, we have this Four of Wands. This is about conquest. So it's learning to not take no from an answer from your perceived universe or your reality, and dictating to your reality exactly what's coming next. And so someone here is getting into manifestation with this energy. And this is where things start to pick up. right? When we get into heavy manifestor mode, especially if you're one of the people who you're not necessarily just trying manifestation, you're like, oh, I'm trying it and it doesn't work, and I'm trying it and it doesn't work. You've allowed that spiritual energy that starts at the 7th chakra when we first get onto our spiritual path, which is why a lot of people will feel like the eggs on their head, right? And then it sinks down into the third eye after a few years, and people start opening up their psychic abilities, or like falling for dogma, or becoming really judgmental, or having lots of dream experiences, right? It can go both ways. There can even be a blend. And then it sinks down into the throat, where now you have to sift through a lot of traumas, and who am I really, and what is my authenticity, how do I air my opinions, how do I speak, my correct use of empathic words, healing words. And then we sink down into the heart space, and a lot of people get stuck in that third eye space. Some people get to sink down into the heart space, and then we realize, wow, we have some boundaries we have to tighten up, or we realize that we have to loosen up and learn to love, right? And then we sink down into that solar plexus. Whoever this message is for, you're down in that solar plexus area now. This is where we're really understanding the idea of I am becoming, or I am, as everybody calls it. And where you're really starting to understand, no, I deserve these things, and I'm going to take control of my reality. There's a different attitude that comes in here that sounds crazy to most people, but it's absolutely required in order to understand the lesson of the soul. And so someone is here now, and this is where things are starting to move, because once that energy, and this has taken somebody a lifetime, right, to get from the 7th down into this solar plexus space, and once this drops into the sacral chakra, it's like a fast movement into the root, which is heaven on earth, right? That's where somebody understands, everybody understands, or somebody understands the actual illusion and what's happening here. This is powerful. This is super powerful. And I feel like I've been getting a lot of readings that I say that about lately. There's a movement taking place in the collective, no matter where you are, that is extremely powerful and dynamic. It's something's very important is kind of like brushing through the collective here. And so when we have this kind of movement, we come to this. Now, I want to say something about the 10 of Swords, right? I do upright, as you guys know. I read the archetype. So when we have the 10 of Swords, the sword suit is all about mental struggle. I tend to look at it and think that it's about mental trauma, psychological trauma, and how we are basically cleaning that up for ourselves. We start off with the 8 of Swords, this idea of being trapped by our mind. And here, after this, where we are in this solar plexus state, swiftly moving down into the sacral state, slowly, like quickly moving down into the root chakra state, this is where we basically put the psychological trauma, the illusions, the delusions to rest. This is where this ego nature here, and I don't mean ego in the healthy way, like the identity. Well, yes, I do. I'm being corrected right now. So there's something here that's coming through, that a person's identity is basically going to be, it's like somebody's able to step out of their identity. And I'm not in unhealthy ways. I want to clarify that, right? It's not about like dissociation or anything like that. This is because somebody has fully mastered their own energy. Somebody has gotten so deep inside of themselves that they understand the core of who they are, not what this life and this dream has cultivated them to be. That's huge. That's huge. Wow. Okay. I'm going to pull a couple more cards on top of this. Let's see. Being told to take from the Muse Tarot, and that I'm not necessarily reading the meaning of the actual tarot cards. I'm supposed to look at the images. Okay. All right. Okay. So here, this has taken a massive perspective shift for somebody. And this seems to be the whole point of all of this, is to understand the interconnection, the interweaving of people and the way that we all affect ourselves. But someone here has had, or is about to have, to make this move happen, to make this energy take place. They're about to experience themselves as everyone, and everyone as themselves. They're starting to gain this perspective that, wow, like this person's literally mirroring something about myself. And this is where someone's starting to interact with the reflection. This is where the strength and the hold of the dream starts to lose its sway. Right? Something here is breaking down. This is a huge thing because, again, like I said, we're shifting from that heart space down into that solar plexus space. And so I feel that for most of the people who this message is for, that shift is just starting to happen, right? There are some of you who are in the solar plexus state and you're shifting down into the sacral space with this Eight of Wands showing up. But there's a lot of things here that this solar plexus space has adopted as narratives, right? It's affected someone's self-confidence, and this is the major thing that keeps someone from understanding, like what was coming through earlier, that you are bigger than this, that you belong someplace, whether it is an actual place or it's very amorphous, and it's out in like other dimensions, but this is these narratives and these ideas and these beliefs are the things that keep someone from understanding their own godhood, from understanding that they are the one, right? And so here, this is what's starting to roll back for somebody. It's starting to release all these little objects and all these little narratives, and it's starting to roll up so that this beautiful sun, this solar energy here, can be seen. Okay, and again, like I said, this is where the illusion starts to break down, and we see that here with the Tower. It's almost as though everything someone had thought, right, is the upright person, and they're realizing they just have to flip it. They have to flip it. So it's almost like somebody here is realizing that you are not in here, you are all of this. And that's what's causing this illusion to kind of break down. As this Tower breaks down, we're free from this trap, right? We're free from these things that are keeping us contained. So someone here is starting to recognize that, because I do feel that whoever I'm reading for, there has been a propensity towards like ancient history or occult topics or magic. You're starting to understand that everything that you're doing is way more powerful. There seems to be a little bit of a responsibility or a hesitancy that's coming in that, because whoever I'm reading for, you don't want to hurt people. You don't want to affect things in a negative way. And so you may even be finding that the feeling it's giving me is staying my hand. Times when maybe you would have done something, magically, you're not, because you're understanding, I don't necessarily have to influence this. I have to change what's in here. I have to change what's in here, because that will change what's going on outside. This is what I'm saying by this is giving me like heavy manifestor vibes. So this is interesting. And then the card that we're ending with is This Is All About. And we come back to the Nine of Voices, which is the card that's missing here. We have the 8, we have the 9, and now we have the 10. This is about those illusions, those delusions, those anxieties, those thoughts that you wake up with in the middle of the night. In this card, though, like I said, I'm supposed to be reading the imagery of this deck. What we have is we have a woman that's asleep. Both of these women are asleep. And this woman's very goddess-like, right? And she doesn't necessarily understand that she has this goddess-like energy. She has all this fire being emitted from her hand. And she doesn't realize that she has that kind of power. Fire being that sacral energy, being that fiery, like, primal willpower sort of energy. She doesn't understand that she's a primal being, a force of nature. Instead, she's asleep here on all these clouds, dreaming these simple little dreams that we have here on Earth. And when really she's cosmic, she's from the stars, right? And so this is exactly what this message is trying to say. Somebody here, you are this like cosmic being with immense power that is dreaming this simple life here on Earth, being caught up in the emotions of it, being caught up in the positive and negative experiences of it, in the chemicals running through your body and the hormones and all the dopamine crashes and rises and all of that. And what you're starting to understand, whoever this message is for, is that you don't necessarily belong here, and that, or you do belong here, right? We do in essence belong here, but you realize that this isn't home. I want to put it that way. And so you're starting to understand that you have to get inside and you have to get in touch with something greater within you, not necessarily something greater outside of yourself, because you're starting to understand that there's something tricky about this. There's a trickster energy going on about everything outside of you, and you're having massive perspective changes. And this is going to help you break down this illusion for yourself and step into who it is that you truly are. So whoever this message is for, this is huge. I wish you the best of luck with this. If this resonated for you, please hit that like button. And until next time.